Yep. Off we go.
All right, we're going to be making our way 3 laps around the museum grounds today. As we do, I'll be referring to things on the inside and outside of the loop. Inside being the side with the yellow building that you just came out of. The outside being the other side. As we make our way up this first hill, you can hear our diesel-electric switcher working pretty hard to get up this grade. That's because this grade is what is known as a 4% grade, meaning that for every 100 feet you travel forward, you go up 4 feet. It's about the biggest grade, or I should say steepest grade, that you see on most of the big Class 1 railroads. I mentioned grade because this first 2 pieces of equipment that you can see here on the inside of the loop are Manitou and Pikes Peak number 1 and number 7. These would have been used to get you to the top of Pikes Peak, which can be up to a 26% grade. You'll notice they have a 3rd rail in the middle there called a rack rail. It's basically 2 offset sets of gear teeth that stop the locomotive and cars from falling down the mountain. They still use a system very similar to this today at the Manitou and Pikes Peak Cog. Just past that, we have the Denver Garden Railway Society's G-scale model railway layout that they have here at the museum. It was running earlier today. This particular layout has actually been here in this form since the early 90s. You can also see these 2 black cars here on the inside of the loop, Rio Grande cars. These are what are known as stock cars. They would have been used to transport farm animals. The first one, number 5666, would have been used to transport horses. 5714 is actually a double-decker, so you can get 2 layers of pigs, sheep, etc. in there. We also have a yellow refrigerator car that would have been used to transport refrigerated goods. The trapdoors on the top are actually where crews would have manually loaded blocks of ice back in the day before any kind of automated refrigeration. Just past that, we have 2 strange-looking steam locomotives, West Side Lumber Company number 12 and number 14. These are what are known as Shay locomotives. They're not like your traditional steam locomotive. They actually have 3 vertical pistons instead of 2 or more horizontal pistons. These vertical pistons are run off of a drive shaft connected to a gear system, which ultimately links up to all the wheels, giving these locomotives all-wheel drive capability. They're not good for speed, but they're very good at pulling heavy loads up very steep grades, and thus were used by a lot of mills, mines, and logging companies. These particular locomotives used to run on the Georgetown Loop Railroad. As we make our way down the hill, you can see this big brick building here, which is our roundhouse. This is where all the restoration work takes place for the rolling stock we have here at the museum, and most of the locomotive work that we have here at the museum. Inside are 2 operational steam locomotives, number 491 and number 20. We try and run steam about once a month here. We also have our Armstrong turntable that allows us to rotate equipment on the spot. All this other stuff is just stuff that's mostly just waiting to be restored. Called an Armstrong turntable because you can see it is human power. So well balanced, however, that it only takes 1 human to operate it.
There's a crane there.
Alright, you just heard our engineer Bob use that handsome devil up in the cab, give us 2 longs, short and long. This is the standard whistle signal for grade crossings here in the United States, meaning the train has the right of way and will not stop for you. As we make our way into our second lap around the museum grounds here, I want to direct your attention to the outside of the loop where you will see 2 steam locomotives. The first is CPQ number 5629. This is far and away the largest locomotive we have here at the museum, and it is the 2nd largest on display in the state of Colorado. This is a very